When you picture a scientist, you might picture a man who uses logic as a shield against any superstition that dare comes near. Not so. Today, we look at history's cuckoo scientists. These are geniuses who regularly did things that would make even a 5-year-old sufficiently furrow his brow. Isaac Newton's obsession with God started the day he decided to share the same birthday as Jesus. Isaac Newton would win almost any smart people contest, but it might surprise you to know that Newton would win almost any dumb people contest as well. Even though he accomplished such feats as calculating the fucking law of gravity, he often let these papers gather dust on the coffee table like ceramic Christmas figurines so he could focus on more important things, like finding the recipe for the Philosopher's Stone, the mythical stone that could turn lead to gold and grant immortality.
Needs another tablespoon of tragic backstory.
Ironically, his Philosopher's Stone recipe likely shrunk his life significantly because he ingested dangerous amounts of mercury, and mercury is highly toxic. If you work overtime today, then you don't love me. Please, baby, calm down. We can talk this through. If you play Fortnite with your friends tonight, then you don't love me. Please, baby, calm down. We can talk this through. If you don't dress like Kai from EXO when we go to my parents' house,
then you don't love me.
Yeah, mercury is that level of toxic. Newton's neuroticism can be traced back to age 3, when his stepdad went to his mom and said, "Get rid of the 3-year-old and we can be together. If you want the D, jump the 3. Okay. Newton's horny mom agreed, and they threw baby Isaac away, similar to the Polynesian god Maui. But instead of giving us something cool like fire or coconuts, Newton gave us calculus. You're welcome. This abandonment forced Newton to compensate for his importance the rest of his life. Newton believed God chose him to solve the riddle of when the world is going to end. He calculated the year 2060, so mark your calendars. Newton kept a detailed list of all the sins he had ever done. Yeah, mine is bigger. Nikola Tesla is like the Eminem of physics. If you made a list of the greatest of all time for physics and you didn't put Tesla in the top 5, everyone would point and laugh at you and banish you to the island of misfit commentators. Nikola Tesla had a very special relationship with the number 3. He also believed he needed to walk around a building 3 times before entering it, or he would receive a good dose of bad luck. Sir, stop. Before you go in, you should walk around the building 3 times, or bad things will happen. Woo! What? Get out of my way. I need to hurry and grab a good seat in the office, or they'll make me sit by the guy who always brings in eggs and tuna fish for lunch. I'm gonna count to me. Most people know about Tesla's mutual hatred for Thomas Edison, but few people know about Tesla's real enemy, the pearl. Tesla found spherical objects aesthetically offensive, and no spherical object was more offensive than the pearl. So she invites you upstairs for a cup of coffee, which is code for sex, and then what happens? Well, things were getting hot and heavy, but when I removed her scarf, I noticed she was wearing a pearl necklace. And you're not an earl for a pearl. Not an earl for a pearl. George, did you not wash your hands 3 times before eating that sandwich? See, this is why women don't consider you sponge-worthy. Anyways, Tesla claimed he could hear flies land on their feet. In an effort to reduce his senses, he always adorned white gloves to avoid absorbing too much. Kind of like Rogue from X-Men, Sugar. Tesla was afraid to be intimate with women, and likely died a virgin. Instead, he dedicated his love life talking to pigeons. He particularly loved finding injured pigeons and nursing them back to health. He likely did this to compensate for his brother. You see, when they were kids, his brother went for a stroll one day on a horse, but he accidentally fell off the horse and fucking died, serving as a constant reminder to Tesla of humanity's fragile nature. J. Robert Oppenheimer called Richard Feynman the most brilliant physicist at the lab where atomic bombs were developed. Feynman was a bizarro scientist. He was the opposite of every scientist stereotype out there. For example, he wrote a lot of his physics papers on napkins at strip clubs. Hey, baby, I calculated your high center of mass. Both of them. Let's go to a hotel and find out the torque of you applying force to my lever arm. If you know what I mean. Look, mister, you can't pay me in physics puns. Are you gonna pay $90 for the private dance or not? Okay, but can you rest my head on your lap and tell me I'm a good boy? Richard Feynman was a womanizer, or at least he successfully spread the rumor he was. He may have just pretended to be a womanizer because he knew a public sex life is a great way to build a brand for other, more respectful enterprises. Here's a guy who pretended to be a college student at Cornell just so he could have sex with co-eds, when in reality, he was a professor at Cornell. Richard also believed women who refused his sexual advances after he bought them drinks were, quote, worse than whores. But wait, I thought a whore was traditionally defined as a woman who has sex in exchange for monetary gain. So if a woman refuses sex for monetary gain, then wouldn't that make her the opposite of a whore instead of worse than a whore? I just poked a hole in the logic of a Nobel Prize winning physicist. Does that mean I can have a Nobel Prize?
You can have the rest of my pizza-flavored Pringles.
Ooh, gimme! Pizza is the best flavor. And I can eat these without getting my keyboard dirty. Take that, flaming hot Cheetos! Richard Feynman was also a bit of a prankster. When he got bored during the fucking Manhattan Project, he would crack a safe containing the nuclear codes and leave a little handwritten note telling security how to make the safe more challenging next time. He would have been great at video game codes. In the Nintendo game Metroid, if you type in the name Justin Bailey, you can play as Samus in a skimpy outfit. In NBA Jam, you can play as Bill Clinton. In Grand Theft Auto 3, you can play as a tank and one-shot other vehicles. But Richard Feynman did know when to sit down and be humble. Case in point, he was interviewed one time on TV, and the reporter asked, Richard, how would you make LA's transit system more efficient? Richard gave some complicated answer full of physics technobabble, but little did he know, a passionate machinist who just happened to work for the LA transit system was watching the interview and seething with rage. He later called Richard up and said, your idea would never work, and you have no idea what you're talking about. To his surprise, Richard Feynman personally wrote a letter to him regarding the matter. You know what? You are absolutely right about what you said. I had no idea what I was talking about. But when someone holds a mic and camera to your face, you try to answer the best you can. Richard was easily able to admit when he was wrong, which is a quality many much smarter scientists never had. But this quality is necessary to further the progress of science, as well as just being a decent fucking human being in general. Thanks for watching.